Okay.
Oh, there we go. It's recording.
Right. Do it. Okay. Right. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for coming this evening. My name is Councillor Mary Locke, Councillor for Stirchley Ward. This meeting is being recorded. For later, you can go on onto YouTube and see the Birmingham City Council YouTube, and you can watch it there, so anybody that hasn't been able to attend tonight can watch it later, or you can catch up watching it then. Thank you for coming. On the agenda, the first item is Hazelwell Station. I'm pleased to have Caroline Parmenter from West Midlands Rail Executive, Martin Rowe and Tim Mitchell from Birmingham City Council. So can I hand over to Caroline to give us an update on how things are going with especially Hazelwell Station, if you don't mind.
Yeah, no problem. So thank you for inviting me along to this meeting. We've just got some slides, but while I'm bringing those up, to give a bit of introduction about who I am. So I'm the Communications and Engagement Manager for the West Midlands Rail Executive, but also for the rail side of transport for West Midlands. So we're kind of integrated. So you'll see, if you hear those names, that's us looking after the station. So I think we came in January, and we did a bit of an introduction into like the benefits around the stations. So instead of kind of repeating that, I wanted to give you a bit of a update of where we are with the project. So those of you who aren't aware where the station is going to be, so it's just going to be here where Pineapple Road and Cotland Road kind of meet. And it's currently a Barkham showroom that you might all be familiar with. So that will be replaced with, and that's where the station building will be going. Okay, and then just kind of a little bit of background of what you'll expect to see at the station. So we're going to have 2 platforms, and they'll be able to accommodate 6 car trains. So to begin with, we'll be running 2 trains per hour between Birmingham New Street and Kings Norton, and those will be 4 car trains, but we'll have that kind of ability to increase that as kind of demand increases as well. The station will also be fully accessible, so it'll have stairs and lifts as well, so anybody can kind of be able to access the station. Places to pick up your tickets, information screens, and kind of a drop off and pick up space, and also secure bike parking to make this kind of really environmentally friendly. You can kind of mix your modes of transport and go from cycling to train, which can be really useful if you're like commuting or something like that. It's really good functionality, and there'll also be CCTV on that bike parking as well to make sure it's really secure and people want to use that space. And as you can see as well, there's just like an artist's impression of what the station will look like. So just give you like a bit of update about what's happening with the project. So back in January, we were looking for extra funding. So we managed to secure full funding for the project back in March. So that's a combination of money from the Combined Authority, Department for Transport and Birmingham City Council. And we're at the stage where we've gone through and we've looked at kind of different designs for the station. So it's like looking at the best option. So you try out different ones, and the kind of civil engineers are looking at that to make sure what's going to work best for the space and make sure it's the best space for users as well. So we're now down to 1 design, which will then get worked up into what we call kind of like a technical term, like calling it the detailed design, which is then what the constructors can take to then actually go build the station. So at the moment we're in the stage where we're going through a procurement process to identify, what contractor we want to hire for this design and build. So we started that back in July. We were on the We're about to start this kind of the second stage of that process in the next few weeks, and then hope to award that contract in early 2022. So kind of once we've awarded the contract, we can then start the design work, and then there's also work we'll start on site as well to start preparing the site to actually build the station. But we'll be in touch when work is about to happen with any people that are like neighbouring the site to make sure that everyone's aware, and letting you know kind of what measures we're taking to make sure we minimise disruption as much as possible during the build. So that's kind of a very quick update. It's kind of at that stage of the project. There's a lot happening behind the scenes, but not necessarily that much of interest to update you about. There's a lot of design work with the engineering team. So if you do have any questions, I'm happy to take those.
Thank you for that. Does anyone have any questions? I'm sure there's people who live nearby have questions. I know they've asked me. So if there's any questions, please put your hand up. Could you take the PowerPoint off, and in case anybody's got their hand up?
Yeah, I can see that Catherine's got her.
Yeah, I was just going to say.
Sorry, Catherine, I do apologise. Catherine, very professional this is.
Thank you, Caroline. That was really helpful. Just a couple of things. One is, having watched the university station starting to be built, how long is the building phase going to be? Because that's really significant for those people who live nearby. And the other is, in terms of the design, that the pick-off and drop-off point and the road junctions are really crucial for those who live nearby. Is there any consultation on that, or is that when the design's being done, that will just be what's built? Thank you.
Okay, so I'll take this in order. So the first bit, so in terms of like university stations, that's a much larger station, so it is taking a lot longer to build. So I'm not sure it's very useful answer, but I can't give exact timescales of how long the build process will be, but I can assure you that it's going to be much shorter than building university station, just because of how big that station is, and it's a very complex build because we're building between the canal and the railway line for part of the build, so that just kind of slow the process down. Just going to be an idea of potentially how long it could be. So we're looking to start work in 2022, could be around springtime. So this would be more like what we call early works. It's more like preparation. There'd be some demolition, and then once that's complete, and the detailed design is complete, we'd then start building the station, and we're looking to finish that in 2023, so probably nearer the end of 2023. So we don't have exact times and dates at the moment. Once we have a contractor in place, we'll be able to give you kind of a bit more information. So sorry, that's a bit vague, but hopefully that kind of gives you an indication of how long it's going to take, and that it's not going to be such a massive build like university station as well. And the second bit was about the drop off area. I don't actually know as much about that, so I can take that question back to our project team and kind of come back to you with an answer.
Thank you. That is really crucial, and
yeah.
Whether any consultation on that and feedback, is really important. Thank you.
Yeah.
If I go, okay, if I go back to you, can you feed that back to Catherine, the answer?
Sorry, yes, Caroline, yes, send it to me, Kate, and I'll forward it on.
Okay, thank you.
There's a question from George Rouse. The drop-off area is a major issue for those who live near the junction. There are major issues with accidents on this junction, and there has been will there be consultation on this issue or not? Because it is a great worry, and I can confirm that with the number of accidents that are reported.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely keen to.
Road and Pineapple Road cross there. It is really worrying. And
Yeah, I'm
parking as well.
And definitely keen to make sure we're engaging with everyone that's nearby as much as possible. So I take that back to the project team, because that's something I'm not personally aware of, but the people who are a bit closer to the detail, they might be able to give me some more information, and then I can kind of come back to you and continue that discussion.
And can I ask that not everyone has got computers and IT, because you know, leaflets and drop-offs for people to be kept informed, because it is a worry, because I don't have to emphasise that, but there's also other roads like Newlands Road and Lewis Road as well, because people, you know, yes, it's for, you know, people to get people to walk or get the bus or to the station, but you know, as with Bourneville Station, some people park in side roads and then use the train. You know, they could be using other roads to park and then go in on the train. So that is a serious concern as well.
Yeah, I've noted that down, and I'll make sure I come back to you with an answer on that, or just a continuation of this discussion as well, to make sure we're getting your views.
I mean, I want, it's not my view, it's everyone's view who lives around there, because and on your PowerPoint, I'm not being nitpicky, as me being a Virgo, it says 6 car trains and you said 4. Is it 4 or 6?
So the platform is going to be designed for 6 car trains, but the first trains coming through the station will be 4 car trains. It's making sure it's future proofed as well. So when if there's an increase in demand, we're able to accommodate that.
Yeah. Is there any more questions from anyone? No. Anyone wants to feedback?
Can't see anybody at the moment with a hand up or anything.
Does the Birmingham City Council officers want to do a feed in, or do a small report on anything to do with the station at all? Yeah.
Certainly we will do in due course. Really at this stage, the key issue is getting the station procured, and we're working closely with WMRE to make sure that process is smooth, and also to get all the agreements in place to enable delivery to take place. And then once all that's been finalised, we can push ahead with consultation as appropriate. Yeah,
because it is a worry, because it is like a major road. People use Cartland Road for access to Vicarage Road or to the Persia Road, and please don't, I'm doing all the talking, please forgive me, but it's just how people you know, email me and are concerned, and the people that live nearby, as Catherine has said, it is an issue. Will there be disabled parking at the station, can I ask?
So there don't be any actual parking, as far as I'm aware. So it would just be this drop off and pick up area.
Yeah, because I know that was what Lunch mentioned before. Because if someone, you know, may need assistance, I know it isn't manned the station, but people may need to, you know, have a you know, disabled car, and you know, you need to use it and use the station. So how will that be?
Yeah, I double check that as well and make sure I definitely got the right answer to you.
Yeah. Okay. Is there any more people who want to add any more or ask? No. Catherine has got another question.
So it just occurs to me whilst we're talking about this, to ask if the name of it is settled or not. And the other question that just also occurred to me, just for sort of sharing information with people, is what order are these 3 stations going to be built in?
Yes, so
built at the same time.
So in terms of the name of the station, that hasn't been decided yet. I actually have a piece of work to do as communications manager to go out and engage with people about what the name will be. So it'll be at least within the next few months, and that would be going out to do that piece of work. And in terms of the order of the stations, they will be all built at the same time.
Okay.
Okay. Do we know when the bathroom shop will be demolished, or not yet? No. Okay. If you have any more questions, email them to myself or Kay, and we'll forward them on. And you know, if you can keep us updated, and hopefully sometime in February time, I hope to do more like an open air, well, a meeting where people can have a look maybe at what the station will look like, and you can see some of the issues that people have and concerns at the station as well.
Yeah, please feel free to send those through to me as well.
Yeah, we will do. Okay. Well, thank you for coming, all of you. And as long as you've got, you know, if anybody's got any more questions, somebody, Alan Johnson, yeah, can't.
Can I ask a last minute one, which is the feedback we're getting from our neighbours really is that this road is going to be used just like Bourneville Lane is and all of the monopoly roads for parking. There's no provision for parking at all at the station. We've already given up some of our other through routes to the almighty bicycle, and we're just not going to, you know, we're just going to suffer from an enormous amount of parking. You know, there might be about 3 Boris bikes used there, but that'll be all it will be. It'll just be parking, and there'll be the solution will be either double yellow lines or something, which means that the residents won't be able to park either. It won't. There's almost no possible chance of it getting policed either. I'm sorry to be a bit cynical about it, but you know, just there are other examples all over, and we don't seem to have any answers about the drop-off point either, because if it's anything like the one at the QE hospital, it's simply a parking area, and that's the way it will be used. There'll be a tailback, God knows where, all the way down Pineapple Road, presumably, or Cartland Road, depending where the entrance is, and it'll be loads of laughs, but you know, no, not for us really. Can anybody say anything at all about it, or do we go back to the BCC for their answers? Has anybody got a motorbike?
Yeah, Martin, are you able to say anything about that?
Well, really, a lot of this boils down to the Wellbeing Transport Plan, which is currently in development. And
there's a plan. Oh, right, sorry.
So the Wellbeing Transport Plan, really, for a local station like this, it's expected that local people generally will walk and cycle to the station because they live nearby, and the parking restrictions are there to really to ensure that it's not intended to be used as a park and ride facility. There are other stations elsewhere on other lines that are more suitable for that purpose.
Like Bourneville?
Well, probably further south, more like Longbridge. But it's part of a regional strategy, is that the city, we are looking to reduce the amount of vehicles that are operating across the city. We have to. We've got serious problems with congestion. And so the way that we move has to change. It's a difficult pill to swallow. It's hard. And we are going to have to make other changes to accommodate this. And we know that. It's also been clouded, particularly now with the pandemic, because we no longer have a clear idea of what future travel patterns will be anymore. Things are changing rapidly. But the way that people work and where they work is now changing. And so with that in mind, really, it's very much a moving feast. It's one that we'll have to monitor, keep an eye on, and if problems do emerge at the station in future, then we'll act.
I think it should be something that's under constant reviews, and liaising with local people as well, and not just words, just, you know, so that people can know that any issues that crop up, and they live there, they see the issues. Although the station is going to be a lot of people up for it, it's the problems related to it.
Yeah.
Because there's already issues, there's a local school as well, and that causes problems with parking as well, because parents park around and about waiting to pick the children up from school.
And the LTNs cause tailbacks all the way down Cartland Road, all the way down.
A few times.
So, you know, this is our transport plan.
The plan is currently being refreshed, so the outputs of the LTN are feeding into that, so we're taking everything into account, and the future plan will be consulted upon next year, and I'd really urge you to get involved when that comes forward.
Next year? Jeez. Oh well.
Right. Okay. Did you want to say anything, Michael? You're on mute. You need to unmute. We can't hear you. You're on mute. You're all.
I think we've lost Michael altogether at the moment. His camera's gone as well.
Okay.
I'm not sure whether it was Nadeem trying to ask a question or no.
Nadeem?
No.
No, I wasn't, Kate.
Sorry. Okay.
Right.
Thanks.
I'm going to call you next, Nadeem. So that's that. So I think the officers from West Midlands Rail Executive and Birmingham City Council better be prepared for a lot of emails, and I do think they owe it to everyone to consult with the people of, you know, Pineapple Road, Cartland Road and roundabouts. Okay. Right. The next item on the agenda is the Health and Wellbeing Strategy Consultation, and for that I've got Nadeem Mohammed from Public Health. If you'd like to explain what it is.
Okay, we'll do it. Just bear with me. I'm going to just share my presentation. Just checking. Can everyone see that?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. Good evening, everyone. My name is Nadeem Mohammed from Public Health, and today I will be talking about creating a bolder and healthier city. This sets out the Health and Wellbeing Board's ambition for the next 8 years, signposting to action across the health and care system. It contains a series of themes and cross-cutting approaches, and each section outlines its key action indicators to measure progress and the leadership required to achieve its ambition. The Health and Wellbeing Board membership is made up of various agencies such as Health Watch, Clinical Commissioning Group, Adult Social Care, Children's Social Services, Birmingham City Council Public Health, NHS and local representatives. Public Health at the Council are here on behalf of the Health and Wellbeing Board. We at Public Health are responsible for protecting and improving the health and well-being of the population. We also have specific responsibilities to reduce health inequalities And to give you an example, you know, that would be sort of the health of the richest and the poorest in the city. The Health and Wellbeing Board is a place for political, clinical, professional and community leaders from across the care and health system to come together in Birmingham to improve the health and well-being of their local population and reduce health inequalities. This has been in place since 2013, and this was established through the Health and Social Care Act of 2012. Through the Health and Wellbeing Board, we work with organisations such as the NHS, which I've already mentioned, to promote the integration of services and work together to improve health and well-being and tackle health inequalities that have worsened since the COVID-19 pandemic. The strategy was developed over the last 3 years. This included the Public Health 2019 Green Paper consultation, the Joint Strategic Needs Assessment, the Seldom Heard Voices focus groups, the ethnographic research and the insight survey over 20 and 21. The delivery will require leadership and, you know, groups coming together and some of the subgroups coming together to tackle these issues. The board also recognises the importance of this framework interconnecting with emerging priorities of the NHS integrated care systems and their duty to address inequalities and the responsibilities and strategies of the Police and Crime Commissioner, as well as other public sector, business, academic and community partners. The framework has 5 core themes, and you can see them across at the top, for action covering a wide determinants of health, protection and environmental public health. The 5 core themes run throughout the life course, which is split into 3 stages across the bottom in grey. The strategies contain 2 cross-cutting approaches, and that's the blue, which is present in all 5 core themes and life courses, and closing the gap runs through the entire strategy. Now, going into greater detail, the framework has 5 core themes for action. 4 of the core themes in the framework align with existing sub-forums, which includes healthy and affordable food, mental wellness and balance, active at every age and ability, contributing to a green, sustainable future, protect and detect. The Health and Wellbeing Board supports a life course approach, and this is reflected in the framework, aligning with Birmingham and Solihull Integrated Care System Outcomes Framework. The 5 core themes run throughout the life course, which is split into 3 stages: getting the best start in life, working well, aging and dying well. The framework has incorporated the experiences and response to the pandemic alongside the ongoing commitment to equality, diversity and inclusion. The framework contains 2 cross-cutting approaches present in all 5 core themes and life course strands, and this includes mitigating the legacy of COVID and looking at equality, diversity and inclusion. The Health and Wellbeing Board is committed to reducing health inequalities. The aim of the framework is to close the gap and inequalities at pace and scale across the city, which the Health and Wellbeing Board sub-forums will be tasked to demonstrate via their action plans. Closing the Gap section aims to address health inequalities linked to poverty, marginalisation and structural barriers and challenges. The 5 key areas of inequalities of focus, they will include inequalities based on deprivation, inequalities based on ethnic communities, inequalities based on wards, inequalities between inclusion groups, so for example, the homeless population and sex workers, inequalities affecting disabled people. The delivery of the strategy will explore these inequalities by a dedicated specific resource and the effort to address them and identify clear evidence of significant gaps for the people within significant gaps for the people with intention to close the gaps and improve outcomes for citizens in Birmingham. And as you can see from the slide in front of you, the indicators present Birmingham as significantly worse than the England average. So to give you a quick example, if you look at infant mortality rate of 2017 to 2019, you can see that it's significantly worse than the English or the England average. Please do go to the Be Heard website to give your feedback. Please think about how and what you read in terms of the documents and how that can inform your ward plan. You can ask questions to the Health and Wellbeing Board in meetings if you wish as well. But yeah, thank you very much for your time. I'm not sure if anyone has any questions for me, and I'll do my best to answer it. But hey, I may have to take the questions away and come back with the answers.
Thank you, Nadine. Could you take the PowerPoint off?
Oh yes, sorry.
We'll send out the PowerPoint to people. Right, has anybody got any questions?
I think the consultation is open till sort of December time, so please do, as I say, please do go on our website, on the Be Heard website, and please do give us your feedback. That would be great.
Can I ask a question on because carers, whether that you're carers for children or family members with special educational needs, or you've got family members who are may have dementia or things like that, or other illnesses, are they consulted too? Because I think they're important, the carers in the city, because we have got very many carers.
As far as I know, I mean, I mentioned before in the beginning of the presentation that the Health and Wellbeing Board is not just made up of organisations but also local representatives. So again, I can find out for you if there's any carers on the board, but I can come back to you and let you know if there are any carers part of the Health and Wellbeing Board.
Because I know of staff in Birmingham City Council who are carers, and I know who live in Birmingham too. I can ask.
I'll certainly ask the question, Mary, and I think I'll email, because I've got Kay's details. I can always email Kay with the answers, and then she can then cascade it back out to the group. Yeah, not a problem. So I'll find out. Yeah.
Catherine's got a question.
Thank you, Nadine. Thank you so much. I'm aware that those inequalities are not distributed evenly across the city. So I'm just wondering what will be done to make sure that the consultation responses ensure that they come from the most deprived communities, kind of the most, and the least deprived communities the least, because otherwise the responses won't actually match the needs. Yeah.
Again, as far as I know, that these the presentations are going to be out to every single ward, every single meeting. Again, I can ask the question, in terms of, is this going out to all wards across the city, and all meetings in terms of resident meetings. So I can ask the question, and as I say, I can email Kay with the answer, and then she can cascade it back to you guys. But I can definitely ask those questions. But it was a great question. Yeah.
I mean, I was just typing in the chat about what if people haven't got IT access or smartphones. There's libraries, community centres as well, because to get as wider picture of as you can.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. If that can be considered.
Okay. Access.
And will there be obviously for different languages as well, because of the wide diverse makeup of the city as well?
Okay. Definitely, I can ask those questions and get the responses back to you, hopefully.
Because also, I mean, just thinking at the top of my head, you've got mosques, churches, temples, Sikh temples as well. So, you know, to get them out to those communities too.
Yep. Okay.
Okay. Any more questions? Right. I think that's it. Thank you very much, Nadine. And if there's any more questions, please email Kay or myself, and I will pass them on to you, and it can answer them and take those back and get some replies. I'm now going to introduce.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Bye-bye, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye.
I'm now going to introduce the new sergeant for Bullenville, Sergeant Gareth Sankey. Are you with us, Gareth?
I am, if it's working.
Hello. Is your camera working?
No, it's not, unfortunately. It's quite an old computer. They haven't given me a new one yet.
Okay. Would you like to introduce yourself and your hopes and what you're going to do for Bourneville?
Yep, so I am Sergeant Sankey from the Stirchley Ward and Bourneville neighbourhood team. I've been in the police for 17 years, doing neighbourhood policing, offender managing, response work and partnership work. So I've done a fair bit of different things. I'm currently overseeing 2 teams, Bourneville and Stirchley Oak, due to staff illness. I've got around about 16 members of staff at my disposal, which does mean I can flood an area quite well in response to a problem, or have quite a lot of skills at my disposal that I can put into lots of different places at the same time, which is working quite well. Obviously, I'd not be a very good police officer if I didn't say that my ultimate goal is to make the community feel safer and reduce crime. I'm a little bit more realistic. I need to obviously manage expectations. We are a smaller police force than we used to be, so we have to do more with less at the moment. There are more offences being reported, more styles of offending, such as online crime, fraud, that still require the same level of police response. With fewer officers, it's something that we are getting through and we're doing well. We've got an influx of new students coming through who are in the middle of their training modules. So that's going to be a massive help to communities when they do come on board. And then we've got things to look forward to in the wider area, such as the Commonwealth Games around Stirchley Oak, and added benefits such as that. So happy to take any questions from anybody or any hints, tips, advice. I was a little bit late today due to the technical issues with an old iPad. So I did miss a bit and I can only apologise for that.
Thank you. Has anybody got any questions for Sergeant Sankey? We're quiet tonight. Catherine?
I'm happy to ask a question just because I think it's important we respond to somebody very kindly coming along to the meeting. Thank you, Sergeant Sankey. I noticed you're looking after a bigger area and you were able to put that as a positive thing in having more people available in different skills. Is it likely to continue that there is a bigger area, or will it revert to being 2 separate areas with 2 separate teams at some point?
So it is 2 separate areas and 2 separate teams. It's purely that because I oversee both teams, where I've got a problem, I put all my officers. At some point, I'll get another sergeant to assist. Might be a temporary one, might be a full permanent one. But I consider the fact that I would use them where they're needed. So where I've got an emerging problem, for instance, I will utilise as many people as I can to try and solve that, rather than just stick to boundaries like we always have done in the past.
I know a number of people are concerned about, you know, the robberies and also drug taking in Stirchley. Because also I always say to people to report it on 101. That is, it can be frustrating, but it is best to report it. But sometimes people are talking on social media rather than, it would be better to report crime onto 101 or web chat if they've got the access to a computer.
Yes.
For web chat.
So anyone that's on tonight will have obviously internet access. I can only apologise for the 101 system. It's not fit for purpose at present. Again, that's a staff shortage problem that isn't looking like going away anytime soon. However, we do have an excellent online reporting system that I'll try and recommend to everybody. On the West Midlands website, West Midlands Police website, it's like a chat robot type of thing. You can tell that what the problem is, whether it's criminal damage, burglary, robbery, incidents that have happened rather than happening at the time. You can explain the problem. It can either create you a police incident log and you'll get a police officer to speak to you, or it can give you a crime number if it's a simple damage, so to speak. So it's a really good tool that is fairly much instant for you, rather than one that we have to wait. If you're doing the 101 system, you could be looking at 30 to 45 minutes, which is unacceptable. I do agree, but we do have that West Midlands Online, which I'd like more people to use.
Are there any plans to update the 101 or improve on it at all in the future?
I think it just needs staff, if I'm brutally honest, and I think that's a problem across the board. At some point there will be that influx of staff into roles such as the 101, call taking, call handling, soft department. When that will be, I don't know, unfortunately. They're a separate department to me. To be honest, I would still keep telling people to use the West Midlands Online reporting, because I think for a member of the community, it's a much quicker, easier option of getting something through to your local officers or getting something done than sitting waiting for a phone call. Clearly, if it's a crime in progress, then I'd want you to use the 999 system to get that immediate response that you require.
Laura Craven is asking, is there any updates about the car thefts and burglaries in the area, which seem to be higher than usual?
If you could give me a bit more information about where you think the car thefts and burglaries are, because I haven't seen a big rise around Stirchley area. Certainly Selly Oak wise, I'm getting a large number of burglaries, which, if I'm honest, I anticipate. It's student time, so they come with their brand new laptops and iPads. They put their boxes outside the front door and they get burgled, and it's frustrating. And we're working on, as we always do, plans to limit that, but that keeps happening. Car theft wise, we don't have too bad a problem, if I'm honest. There's slightly bigger problems around slightly further south, so Bramwood, Billsley, Druids Heath kind of areas. That's a group of young people who are known, who we're trying to actively catch.
Right, I've got one from Emmy Folks. Emmy.
Yes, thank you, Mary. To the Sergeant, I just wanted to ask if there is any strategy you have in place for carjacking. Within my postcode, during the last 12 months, we have had one carjacking and one attempted carjacking. In fact, within the same car park. Any advice as to how we can reassure our residents, and as well as what you can do to give us a bit of peace of mind, if you like, please?
Did you say you'd had one in the past month or one in the past year?
within the last 10 months, to be specific, 1 carjacking and 1 attempted carjacking.
Okay, I appreciate that's quite it's an emotive thing to have gone through. From my point of view, 2 offences in 10 months is really good for a policing area for that. So a carjacking could be pretty much any vehicle offence where they've used some force to take the vehicle. Ordinarily, it would be somebody leaves the vehicle running, maybe at the petrol station, and somebody jumps in and drives off with it. That would be classed as a carjacking. Anything where there's some force involved and they take hold of the driver or the passenger and they take them out. I would, I don't know the ones you're talking about, but I would suspect they will be for high-powered, high-value motor vehicles. My advice would always be the same, whether you've got a reasonably good valued car or a really expensive one, is keep your windows, doors locked when you're stationary. Keep things out of sight that are on display, such as your handbag and your phones. Don't keep them on the passenger seat for a temptation, and hopefully that assists.
Emmy, it might be useful to to give some more information outside the meeting to Sergeant Sankey, you know, or email him or something.
Yes, I would be glad to do that. If you don't mind, please, I will have his contact, or I will contact him through you, Mary.
Okay, is that all right with you, Gareth?
Yeah, I'll put the Selly Oak email address in the chat.
If you can.
Lovely, thank you very much.
Sandra Cooper, next.
Hello, I'm the Vice Chair of Stirchley Neighbourhood Forum. We have actually been in email contact already. I'd just like to say how much the people who come to the meeting value the ongoing relationship with the police through PCSO Blackford and sergeants and others. And we really hope that you can make it most months, because it's really valuable. And I think, especially when it's a face-to-face meeting, it's a good way of you actually gaining intelligence, where people will quite often talk to PCSO Blackford or whoever at the end of the meeting, outside the meeting. And I think it's a win-win situation. So I just wanted to say how much it was valued that we have that relationship.
Are you there, Gareth?
I am, yes. I was typing and trying to unmute at the same time. Sorry, this.
You can't multitask.
No, not at all. I'm much better in person than I am on this horrible little iPad. Thank you for that, Sandra. I mean, I'm very fortunate to have 5 PCSOs across my 2 wards at the moment that are exceptional. Having worked with a number of PCSOs over 17 years, I'm very blessed with what I've got. Paul is really good at the community meetings and is a godsend really for me to be able to send him along to places. So I'm really glad for that feedback, and I'll pass it on to him. Thank you.
Yeah.
And in person will be much better.
All right. Because sometimes as well, the PCSOs and myself, we do we go by the local shops, but back of Morrison's or Farm Foods, you know, with information and chat to local people who have concerns. So when we can do it, we do, you know, every couple of months or so. So that's helpful as well, because I think people do like to see face to face. I know it's been very tricky the last 18 months or so, but hopefully things are slowly getting back to normal.
Yeah, they're definitely out and about. They like Cottridge at the moment, so they're in Cottridge quite regularly. We've had it's been in the news, but we've had some problems in Roeheath Park, so they are there quite regularly. And I've got a campaign ongoing in the bottom end of Cottridge as well, which is taking up quite a number of resources at present. Yeah. But that's only for 40 days, so it's not going to take forever. So when they do have time, then yes, they are in high footfall areas such as high streets. So please do speak to them. Please do task them as well. And if they ask why you're being tasked, tell them because Sergeant Sankey said so.
Okay, are there any more questions? Any more? And Alan Johnson says Sergeant Sankey is doing a great job with limited resources. Things like traffic take a bit of a backseat, but there are times when speeding on urban roads causes real worries. I know Carlton Road and Pineapple Road being one, and also Hazelwell Street. I mean, we have gone out, you know, with speed watch, and you know, that has been helpful. And you know, when it can be done, but it's resources and time and everything. But hopefully after the 40 days we might be able to do some more.
I did respond to an email earlier in relation to a speed watch operation in Bourneville. I'm going to say between Teasle Avenue and Linden Road, I think. I mean, I have got resources, I have got volunteers to do that. So if people have a problem with speeding in the area, please do tell me, and I will look at what we've got available, pick dates, and we'll see what we've got.
Okay, that would be great. And also I must add as well, last year I know we, well, not last year, before COVID, the months and years just passed by, we sometimes do an information at the Ascension Church Hall. The PCSOs and the previous sergeant used to come and do an update, and also I'd go with information and take things back if there were issues. So that worked very well. We did it about 3-4 times a year, but obviously with COVID things had to change, but maybe sometime next year we can start that again, I hope. Emmy, do you have a new question?
Yes, and this might be to both of you, Mary and Sergeant Sankey. I don't know who might be able to answer this one. It's regarding the speed on Catland Road. It's at 20 miles per hour. You have to drive with the foot on the brake all the time. That's not so much of a problem for myself, but quite often you find somebody is just flying past you. I wonder whether the speed limit on this road could be increased either to 30 or leave it at 20, but with some sort of traffic camera, because at the moment it's not, in my opinion, doesn't seem to be serving the purpose.
I know the 20 miles an hour is a trial. I think it's got about another year to go. We have done speed watch there on Carlton Road, and I know a number of people who have been speeding have been ticketed when they've done it. You know, it's something that needs keeping an eye on. It is reported back, so we'll see. I mean, you know, it just sometimes it just doesn't work, and there are a number of accidents that have happened there too at the top, and it is a serious concern.
Yeah, from a police point of view, 20 is plenty, as the campaign says. If people are having to brake all the time, perhaps adjust the speed to start with. Cars aren't designed to do 30 miles an hour. It's just that the driver has a heavy foot and it does 30 miles an hour when they push it. 20 is due to high residential areas, schools, buildings, high street areas, and I'd far rather have an annoyed person because they can't drive at 30 than have to tell a child's parents that they're not coming home that day. So for me, I'm going to be fully supporting 20 miles an hour if it's in that area and it's for a good reason.
Is there any more questions?
Just on that as well, in relation to speeding, and there's a comment around ticketing, etc. I'm not a big fan of asking the public to do my job for me. However, there is a website called nextbase.co.uk. They're the ones that make the dash cams and speed devices and things. If you go on there with footage from mobile phone, dash cam, GPS devices, with either vehicles parked illegally or speeding vehicles or drivers on mobile phones, there is a little bit of an online reporting system that you have to go through, but that comes through to a police traffic department, and then tickets get issued because we have the evidence of that offence. I know that it really annoys me when I see people on mobiles or come speeding past me in residential areas. So that website for me is brilliant.
Could you put the details in the chat? And
Yep,
it's more multitasking. Or send it to Kay and then we're able to distribute it. Oh, there it is. Oh, thank you very much, Laura. Anything else people want to ask?
Yes, if I may, please. We seem to be having a perennial problem with the misuse of Lindworth cricket grounds. From time to time, we get people using them at ungodly hours, for want of a better phrase. And whatever they would be doing there is much to do with antisocial behavior other than just having an event or function. I know PCSOs are helping us with this, but I wonder whether there is any strategic way of dealing with it so that we don't have to keep running back to you every now and then, Mary.
I mean, if it's antisocial behaviour, I mean, you can report it to on Birmingham City Council's website, you know, under antisocial behaviour. I mean, are the police informed as well? Or
sorry, I keep muting myself. Yes, the police are aware.
Yeah, it may be like the police have got can, by reporting it, it does get frustrating, I know, but sometimes they build up a case like that, and that's how hopefully they can get the protagonists who are dealing with that. But if it is, you know, can also report it to the environmental health under antisocial behaviour.
Where was that problem? Sorry, I just missed what the area was, because I can have a look at that at work tomorrow.
Lindworth Road.
Yes, it's Lindworth cricket ground.
Is there something going on? Is there some activity there late at night or something?
That's right. The latest was 3 weeks ago, and some residents were trying to contact them, but they turned nasty, using an unsavory language towards whoever was talking to them. And whatever activities they were doing were actually illegal.
I assume not the people that run the cricket ground, then just youths who've got onto the cricket pitches or the cricket area and are causing a problem.
Is that what it is, Emily?
Sorry, I missed that question.
I assume it's not the actual cricket club causing the problem then. It's youths getting onto the area and doing it.
We have always had this problem, as I said from the beginning, but when PCSOs and even ourselves contacted the ground owners, they seem to be oblivious, and they contend that the gate is locked. There's no way anybody would have got in there, but we have got evidence, photo evidence, and they do it anyway. So I don't know whether probably they've got access and the ground owners don't know, or somebody is not being forthcoming with the info, with the truth.
Yeah, if you've got the photo evidence, just drop it through to the email that I mentioned. I'll pick that up tomorrow and have a look at it and get one of my PCSOs to give you a response as well.
Will do. Thank you very much.
Alan Johnson says he doesn't think it's used as a cricket ground any. It seems I'm not sure whether people are companies trying to buy it to build houses or not. I'm not sure, because we hear different. At one time, people in Littleworth Road were offered, to compulsory purchase by a company. Now somewhere else they refuse. So I don't know what's going on. They were looking to sell the cricket ground because it's got Japanese knotweed. I'm not quite sure of any more information.
I think, given personal experience from our point of view, selling it for whatever reason, whatever purpose, would be better than what is going on at the moment.
Yeah, well, and just keep reporting it. Is there anything else?
No, not from me. Thank you very much, Mary.
Gareth, is there anything else you want to add, or is that it?
No, not from me. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much for coming. I'll let you get back now, and hopefully, thank you for coming, and hopefully you can attend the neighbourhood forum, one of their meetings. I know Sandra said Paul Blackford attends regularly, and it is, people really do think a lot of that and his updates.
Yeah, whenever I'm needed, just drop an email through to that email address and I will pop it in my diary.
Okay, thank you very much, and I'll see you soon, I hope.
Yeah, whenever you want that coffee and biscuits.
Yeah, I'll hold you to that. All right, I'm breaking free next week. Okay, well, thanks very much, and I'll let you get back to your evening, Gareth, and I'll just do my councillor update. At the moment, the updates, Lidl have put in designs on the former bowling alley stroke gym site, and that is technically in Bournebrook, Selly Park ward, but it's as close to Stirchley as crossing the road, crossing Cartland Road. If any comments are wanted, people can put in comments. I'm also, I did hope to have this evening some information about the Stirchley Village Green, but unfortunately that won't be going ahead because we did hope to have outside the district office, village green with trees and planters and various things, but there's a technicality over the land, and the land is part of the bid for the district office, so which is owned by the education department, not highways or the council. So that goes to the successful bidder. That will become part of their remit, so we can't do it. There is still Tesco monies for the high street. People have got ideas what they would like to see, and please let us know. The officers, excuse me. I have asked if many of the shops if they're interested in doing the shop fronts. There hasn't been much uptake, one or two, but not many more. So if anybody's got ideas, the primary shopping area is from, I would say, Cartland Road right up to Elm Tree Road. So any ideas for there? We're hoping to do planters, the painting, but there is stuff. So thinking caps on really. I'm also I don't know much about the 7 capital sites. It seems to have gone all quiet. The houses are going to start being built on the Taylor Wimpey site by Hunt Road, Ripple Road. So it's about 87 houses. They've been, I think, fairly good. I think Sandra would agree. They've visited the neighbourhood forum 2-3 times, giving regular feedbacks. And then the other side, the cooperative development, Loaf, Bike Foundry and Artifact, with their social rented apartments. I don't know when that will go ahead, but they're in the process of purchasing the land, and then things will get started. I don't know when. So that's as far as I know at the moment. If anybody's got any questions, please ask me. I'm interested. No, everyone's silent. Right. If you have any questions, please let me know. I'll email me and I will respond and do the best I can. I hope the next meeting that we can have it face to face, all being safe as we can, and hopefully at the moment, this meeting, I had hoped to have it face to face, but I'm in isolation at the moment. But hopefully after Saturday, I can go out and be part of the human race again. But I wish you all well. Take care. The next meeting will be November, and I hope to see you all face to face. And it's been good to see you and have your questions tonight. Thank you.